How's it going, everybody? In this video, we are going to be doing something a little bit different. Today, we're in the garage, also where my server room is. And what we're going to be doing is we are going to be working on the server rack. We worked on this about a year and a half ago is when we deployed it with the Ethernet right up there. It was a lot of fun. We did a lot of cool things. And the server rack is actually pretty cool, some of the stuff that is in it. It's working really great. Our pfSense router is amazing. Even though you guys said it wouldn't work, it's been working great. But we got a couple of upgrades. We have a 10 gigabit switch finally to take advantage of all that 10 gigabit Ethernet running throughout the house. And we also have a new Dell PowerEdge server. This is going to handle all of our data serving and our routing functions. It's going to take over 2 devices. So we need to do a little bit of reorganizing in the server rack. So today's vlog is just going to be taking care of the server rack and fixing stuff up in there. So let's go ahead and work on that. So we got everything in the new server rack that's going to go in there. So what I said what I'm doing is we're sticking the routing on here, which is going to be in a virtualized environment where this was physical. Now the only issue is that in order to turn on the virtual machine, I have to connect to the server, but there's no screen, and I don't have an IP address to give out to this or any of its clients. So what I'm doing is I'm connecting back up the old router so that I can get an IP address so that I can turn the VM on. I forgot to turn on the functionality where auto boots the VM on the server boot. Forgot that. So that's what we're doing now. We are turning this back on so I can get an IP address to actually access the server. Here's what we have going on. We have the Dell PowerEdge R710 up here. It's actually too big for my rack, so it's just going to sit up top for now. We move the power strip up to the top. We have our normal switch, we have our 10 gigabit switch, and then everything else down here is the same. And this, like I said, is going away, and it's going to be replaced by this. Now our storage is still going to be on this Synology server, but that's going to be for archives and other stuff. This is going to be our working server up here. So now that everything in the server rack is done being set up and everything is running, I want to talk a little bit about the hardware we're now using and how it's been working out the past couple of days. So as I said, we are using a Dell PowerEdge R710 as our main server. I tried running Unraid, but the performance wasn't as good as I expected, and you have to pay for that. So I switched over to FreeNAS, and I'm getting better performance, and it's free. So that is what we're using. FreeNAS is not a hypervisor, so it's not necessarily meant to run virtual machines, but it does support multiple network card pass-through. So in that case, we are able to run pfSense in a virtualized environment. The great thing is that both FreeNAS and pfSense are based off of FreeBSD, so they're both on the same architecture and platform, so it works really well. As you saw earlier in the video, since pfSense is virtualized inside of FreeNAS, you have to turn on the virtual machine, and I forgot to enable auto boot, so we had to use the old router to get our IP addresses, but now that is all resolved, and that should be the real only issue we have with it. Since our routing is virtualized, there is more of a chance for the internet to go down whenever our server goes down or something like that, but it's a fairly stable system, so I don't think we're going to have many issues, but I'll keep you updated if there is any issues. Since we are running FreeNAS, that is where all of our projects are going to go. We are connected over 10 gigabit to my computer, so we can edit off of the server at the fastest speed possible. Right now, there's only 2 hard drives in there, two 2 terabyte drives that are just in a RAID 1. And then we also have a 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD in a PCIe slot, and that is our logging cache. Now, when it comes to FreeNAS, there are 2 different types of caching. There is log cache, and then there is just cache. Just cache is known as ARC, and that is the reading cache. And then we also have log, which is our writing. Unraid, kind of combine those into one. You just add a cache and that's it. It does everything for you. But we have our NVMe drive as our write cache. We are transferring very large video files like this one right here, and we need them to copy fast. Right now there's 64 gigabytes of RAM in the server, which is going to be our ARC. L2 ARC, or level 2, is the SSD, which we don't have enabled right now. So right now, all of our reading cache is going to be through the RAM, but that's enough for right now. We're at about 30 gigabytes of RAM usage right now, but we can totally expand that. I got a ton of slots. I'm only using 4 right now. There are a lot of things I'm still learning and a lot of things we can try out when it comes to using this server as it's intended to be more than just one single purpose. So there's a lot of things I'm learning, and it's very fun to do this type of thing. If you have any suggestions for what we should try, let me know, and be sure to get subscribed. As I try stuff, I'll make videos about it, and let you guys know, keep you updated on the process. So that's going to be all for this video. Thank you for watching. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. This is Mark That Tech, and I will see you in the next one.